Just imagine that you've been to a Reiki course. You have your nice big manual, or small manual, as the case may be. Perhaps it's just a few little bits and pieces. And you start trawling through this information. You're feeling probably a little bit spacey. You're probably the attunements as bring things to the fore. And you're kind of mulling over everything that's happened in the last day, 48 hours, or whatever. And you're processing all this. It's all going through you right now as you start to pick up that manual and you probably will come across a part that says 21-day clear out. And this is where I'm going to say what may sound controversial. And before you Reiki Masters have me sort of like hung, drawn and quartered, let's elaborate. So I'm going to say that is actually probably, from my point of view, and many others, that's untrue. Yes, let that sink in. Gary just said the 21-day or 28 days, or whatever some people might say 28 days. It's incorrect. And now some might be thinking, oh, I don't have to sort of like do the 21 days then. No, you do the 21 days. Of course you do. It's important, especially after you've just been attuned. But I want to just add something onto that. The 21 days continues on and on and on and on. And so I think it would be far more helpful if we just say once we're attuned to Reiki, we continue to work on our own enlightenment process. Because ultimately that is what we're doing. And this is what some people may say, because they may say, well, imagine you have just learned, but they say, oh, Gary, I've literally just learned Reiki, and you're telling me I have to go beyond 21 days? Are you crazy? I ain't got time to do all that stuff every single day of my life for the rest of ad infinitum. And allow me now to interject my feelings about that. So, yes, the 21 days goes, and you carry on. But remember, the whole purpose of Reiki, when it was initially brought to those that Mikao Usui taught, was not about healing others. And that, again, is almost heresy to some. Because they say, yeah, but I want to help people. I've built a business around it. It's what I do. I love doing it. And I'm going to say, full kudos to you. I do it myself. But you're saying it, probably screaming at the screen, but you're telling us like, it's not about healing. I said, what I'm saying, it's primarily not about healing others. The whole purpose of Reiki is to work on ourselves each and every day in whatever way we can. Now, I hear some of you kind of like saying, well, I haven't got time to do my Hatsure home, my self-healing, sitting, meditating with the symbols or whatever. That is a fair comment, because sometimes we do have busy lives, and there's also a point for most of us, we can find that, some of us may find that a bit tedious. So my response would be, get creative and don't beat yourself up about the time that you give yourself for your, we call it, your Reiki time. I prefer, let's just call it Reiki time rather than enlightenment, or 21 days, or whatever you want to call it. I think when you have your Reiki time, you have what time is right for you. So for me, a few minutes just sitting there, just peace and quiet, just bathing in that energy, perfectly fine. You're working, it's working with you. And the beautiful thing with Reiki is I've often come across people who've been doing Reiki far longer than I have. They might have done this way back in the 1990s or even the 1980s. And they say, oh, Gary, I haven't done Reiki for years and years. It's not going to work anymore. No, once you're attuned, you are attuned. You're jacked in. And it's just like imagine you've got a radio that you've not switched on for years. Chances are it might be a little bit sort of like rusty at first when you tune it in, but once you turn it on, it works, doesn't it? You're there, you're tuning into your radio station, just like you're tuning in to your Reiki. Now, of course, the more you work with it, the more natural a channel you are, but it doesn't matter how long or short you've been attuned to Reiki, the energy is the same. We are channeling the same energy, which has got different ways of, how can I say, working with it, I suppose, is how I would describe it. So, yeah, if you have not done anything for Reiki for years and years, and you've got all about your 21 days, you can hop back into it at any time. You just need that little bit of discipline, that little bit of kind of showing up, as I call it. When you show up, it's a statement of intention, isn't it? And I think it's such a pity, and this has happened to people I've trained as well, and I'm sure some of the other Reiki masters will appreciate this. You train people and you never hear from them again. They go away and they stay, especially when someone does level one and they stay at that level. And I feel like saying, you've just started your journey. Why would you stop? So this is for me what the 21 days is all about. So once that 21 days elapses, what can you do with it? What do you do with your Reiki practice? Let's just think of a few things that we could do. The first, number one, is your self-healing. Once the 21 days is gone, just carry on self-healing yourself. And again, work with the time that's right for you. And I'm also going to say as well, find different ways of working with that energy. You can go for the hands-on, you can go through all the chakras, it's like working through here, through the whole body as you give yourself that Reiki, which is perfectly fine. You could do it internally. You can visualize. You can maybe visualize the energy coming in from your crown, going into your third eye, into your throat, down into your heart, through the chakras like that. You could even almost just go to different points of your head. So maybe the crown, the third eye, maybe the temples, the back of the skull, because we have all the meridian lines working that way for you. So that's another way you can work with that Reiki. Maybe just sort of like, actually just sitting here, we're just visualizing this Reiki just coming down upon you, just not doing anything, just sitting in that energy. Oh, there's just a few little variations of how you can get creative with your Reiki healing. So keep working with that kind of process to find out what works for you. And when you find a way that you're quite comfortable with, stick with it if you can. And if you find it after a while it's a little bit flat, try something else. Keep jazzing it up, trying different things, because your Reiki self-healing is kind of important, because two levels. One, you're maintaining your connection with Reiki, and of course, you're basking in that Reiki energy. Now, I get it, because some people say, I'd much rather have a Reiki treatment of somebody else. And there is definitely, I must admit, I'm with you on that one. When someone else gives you Reiki, it can be really quite nice and wonderful. I'd probably end up falling asleep. I usually do, but it is a beautiful process. So then we come to our second point. Share that energy. Share the love. No matter what level you are, whether you're level one, Reiki Master for years and years and years, there's nothing greater than actually sharing that with someone. So if you've got people that are local to you, maybe like, and I know one of my students does this really well, gets in contact with people that she knows, and they have a lovely little Reiki exchange, and they love doing it to each other. And you're also, when you're doing it, no matter what level you are, when you're working with someone, as you're feeling their energy, you'll pick things up. It's brilliant practice, especially those who are running their own practices professionally. This is a great practice for you. I'm a firm believer, though, that there should always be a give and receive. So there's nothing worse than when someone who just turns up and they don't actually give Reiki back. That we should always have that beautiful exchange. But look forward to it. And you can have yourself like a building up a nice, beautiful Reiki community. That's what I'm trying to do with this channel. It's building up that beautiful Reiki community, and I'm just seeing the first tinctures of that happening. A lovely lady, I'm not going to mention no names, has agreed to come to a little Zoom meeting I'm doing next week with people that I've trained. She's reached out and says she wants to join in, and I've said, yeah, come along, and we'll see how that goes for her. And this is the great thing with YouTube now. I could reach out across the world. So if you're watching this and you are Reiki trained, you've got to be Reiki trained, and I will check you out. So it's no point saying, oh yeah, I like Reiki, because again, you would just be receiving, you wouldn't be giving. And it's important, I feel, that we have that ethos. And I know the right kind of people would do that. So if you are Reiki trained and you'd like to get involved with that, just put Zoom me, either Zoom me or Zoomy, Zoomie, and I will gladly furnish you with an invite. I tend to do it on a Tuesday and a Wednesday evening. It's 7:30 in the evening. Remember, this is GMT time in the UK, so bear that in mind where you are in the world. But if that's doable for you, well, we just sit in a lovely space, have a nice little, brief little chat, and then I'll think of something Reiki-ish for us all to do. So if that appeals to you, you'd like to join in, drop in the comments. And this is what I love. It's building up the comments as we go forward and bringing that energy in. And even though lately my views ain't been great, what has been fantastic is the comments that are coming through. I love it. I love hearing from you all. So please do take the time to comment, because it brightens my day. It brightens your day, I hope, too. Just watching these videos and just as I share my thoughts with you all. And it's important. Let's build something wonderful together. Um, I want to come up to another way how we can work with our Reiki energy. So after your 21 days, try working with your breath. Just imagine the Reiki breath. So just again, I love keeping things simple, because sometimes people think, oh, what's this rigmarole I have to do? I would literally just sit with your hands in your lap and just imagine that Reiki coming right down into your, what we call the tanden, or your belly button area, and just feel the energy building. Just sit there with that energy and breathe. So as you breathe in, just imagine you're breathing in beautiful Reiki energy, breathing it out to fill the whole room or your whole house, your whole city, your whole village, or whatever it is, the whole country, the whole world, the whole darn universe. Imagine you're doing that. It's that give and flow. So just see that as the breath coming in, like the figure of 8. Energy comes in, energy goes out. Breath comes in, goes out. Just like the tide that you'll be seeing at the sea. Just like your heartbeat. Boom, 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 boom. Just like your breath. In, out. Echoes right through the universe. So when you're working, just simply just sitting in there, no complication at all. And you could do that while you're watching telly. You could be sitting there watching telly, and if you've got your partner there, they could just say, I'm just going to spend a few minutes just working in my energy. You might get a couple of funny looks, but then if they know you're already a Reiki trainer, they'll allow it. And plus, it's their chance to practice with them later, isn't it? Give them some healing. If they're smart, they'll be asking you for some, because they know how wonderful that energy is you're working with. So again, just breathe in and out. Just simple breathing. It's another way of working with that energy. Now, one of the things I do is, like, rather than sometimes do all the Reiki rigmarole sometimes, I will actually do Qigong, which I find is a beautiful, beautiful energy. It's a beautiful energy that I can combine that Reiki with, because that I feel that golden energy comes in. I thoroughly recommend Lee Holden Qigong that you can find online. It is really trying to build that lovely, lovely energy as we move forward, and kind of like, sort of like, get it through movement. You can get through movement. It teaches you how to work with the breath, And you can literally feel the energy in your hands. Really powerful, like what we call chi or ki, whatever you want to go. The Japanese version would be called Qigong, which is Qigong. But again, we're going back to traditional kind of like traditional Chinese medicine almost, and bringing that into your Reiki energy. And believe you me, quite often when I do a Reiki session even, I will charge up my energy system. I will work on the pressure points down my arm, and again, just breathing in golden energy, just sitting in that beautiful power until I'm ready to work with that energy with somebody else. It's beautiful. So again, this is another way that you can do that. You can try to, I would say, Qigong personally. You may prefer yoga. If you are doing yoga, just make a connection with your Reiki as well. I haven't done yoga for a long time, but I'm sure you could do that as well. But Qigong, definitely for me, that works. Or Tai Chi, of course, which is the progressive version of Qigong. Qigong's more the exercises, which I love. I think Tai Chi's a little bit more the movement, but you could certainly, as you're kind of like grasping the energy, pushing it through, just imagine that Reiki energy coming in with you, just working on your self-healing. It's brilliant. I thoroughly recommend it. So that's another way to keep the interest going with your Reiki. And the final thing I'm going to say to you as we move forward, get creative. Get creative with your energy, whatever you want to do. Say, for example, I'm recording this video right now. I'm going to send some Reiki energy out to all you people that are watching it right now. Just imagine you're encased in this beautiful bubble of golden light, and all the people that comment. I'm just going to. Here's a little fun thing to do. Give me 20%. So if you put that in, just imagine that you've just got 20% boost to your energy levels. Now here comes the rub. Is it happening? Is it your imagination that making it happen? Is it your intention? But just know, if you put that down, I'm sending you 20%. You're sending you 20% as well because you're connecting. And that is how a fun little thing to do there. So if you're the little 20% boost to your energy levels, type that in the comments. A little bit of fun. But you should see what I'm doing there. It's a creative process. Get creative. You're writing a poem, for example. Imagine you're sending Reiki. I've got a pen here somewhere. So I've got my pen here. Send some Reiki into my pen. Send some Reiki into, a little blank bit of paper there. So it's visualization. It's working the energy, put it into the pen, and you're writing a beautiful, beautiful kind of like Reiki inspired poem, for example, or a Reiki inspired short story, a Reiki inspired letter, Reiki inspired art. I've had people that done artwork. I've actually bought some. I don't think I've got it here right now, but beautiful picture that I purchased where someone actually channeled Reiki and they put it into artwork. It's wonderful. Again, if that's your calling, put it into whatever you do. Put it into a glass of water. You have a glass of water. Charge it up with Reiki. Your pot plants, charge it up with Reiki. This is what I'm talking about. Get creative. And maybe you've got some creative ideas that I haven't discussed. Put them down in the comments, please. And there you go. And I'd like to end there as go forward. And just remember, the 21 days does not stop at 21 days. In fact, let's forget the 21 days. Let's make it the Reiki life experience. That for me sounds a hell of a lot more appealing. And on that note, I wish you all the beautiful, very best. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, afternoon, whenever you're watching this. And who knows, maybe I'll catch you at one of my little Zoom meetings. Much love. Catch you soon. Take care.